Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about your purchasing habits because if you are buying infrastructure equipment, and I'm talking to all you IT and cybersecurity nerds out there, you could be getting ripped off. If you're going to eBay and Amazon, let this be a warning for you, especially coming from the Cisco world right now. And this is what's going on. It's coming from PC Mag. And here's what's up. The Justice Department announced basically yesterday that it had indicted 38-year-old Anor, known as Ron Aksoy, for importing and selling almost $1 billion worth of counterfeit Cisco equipment via numerous online storefronts. Cisco obviously being one of the largest infrastructure makers in the world. Now, allegedly, Aksoy imported tens of thousands of fraudulent Cisco devices from China and Hong Kong. He then created at least 19 companies in New Jersey and Florida dubbed the Pro Network to help him resell the hardware as genuine through e-commerce sites. The Cisco equipment Aksoy allegedly sold was usually older, lower-end models that were previously bought or discarded. The counterfeiters in China would then modify the equipment, making the devices appear as if they were newer or more expensive Cisco models, meaning you're getting that brand new ASA model, and it's actually a 10-year-old unit looking like the facade of that brand new ASA. Now, according to the DOJ, and I quote their indictment directly here, as alleged, the Chinese counterfeiters often added pirated Cisco software and unauthorized low-quality or unreliable components, including components to circumvent technological measures added by Cisco to the software to check for software license compliance and to authenticate the hardware. Meaning, they figured out a way, basically, to bypass the internal security checks of Cisco equipment. And it seems like they were getting things like UTM licensing actually licensed, which I think really is absolutely nuts. But there you go. I'd love to hear more from Cisco on that. I have not, but I'm going to give Cisco the final word here. Now, in addition to this, the counterfeit products were also packaged with authentic-looking labels. They were in more modern boxes from Cisco, as well as documentation. However, customers who bought the equipment would later realize that this was not true. This was not good. This was possibly defective. Quote, "They would often simply fail or otherwise malfunction, causing significant damage to their users' networks and operations, in some cases costing users tens of thousands of dollars." I really hope Rogers in Canada is checking their Cisco equipment given the massive outage they just went through. Now, I also, once again, quote the DOJ here. Customers of Aksoy's fraudulent and counterfeit devices included hospitals, schools, government agencies, and the military, meaning all of those things essentially require critical uptime, critical infrastructure, just to keep moving whatever it is they're doing, and they're getting older and fraudulent equipment. It's absolutely nuts. Now, according to the U.S.'s criminal complaint, Aksoy dates back to at least 2013. He was able to buy counterfeit equipment at quote-unquote 95 to 98% lower than the prices of genuine Cisco products. The counterfeiting generated numerous complaints from buyers on Amazon and eBay, and in response, Amazon and eBay suspended or terminated the storefronts on their sites. But Aksoy repeatedly returned to the e-commerce platforms, creating new storefronts under different names between 2014 through 2020. Now, Cisco, interestingly enough, was also aware of this counterfeiting that was going on, and from 2014 to 2019, Cisco sent 7 cease and desist letters to Aksoy demanding that he actually end his counterfeiting scam. Obviously, kind of fell on deaf ears. At the same time, though, U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized about 180 shipments of these Chinese counterfeit products that basically the Chinese counterfeiters had tried to send to Aksoy over the past 9 years. In July of 2021, U.S. agents also executed a search warrant and raided an Aksoy-operated warehouse, seizing 1,156 counterfeit Cisco devices with a retail value of over $7 million. Now, to evade the investigation, Aksoy would sometimes also use an alias known as Dave Durden, but last week federal investigators arrested Aksoy in Miami, Florida on several fraud-related counts. As evidence, the criminal complaint against him cites numerous emails and messages Aksoy and his associates sent to counterfeit suppliers in China. And I will give, as I mentioned, the final word to Cisco here, and this is directly from Cisco on this situation, and I once again quote, "We are committed to maintaining the integrity and quality of Cisco products and services. Cisco is grateful to law enforcement and customs officials for their tremendous collaboration in this investigation and to the DOJ for bringing the perpetrator to justice. So, if you bought a Cisco or possibly other brand of equipment from one of the companies I'm about to list out here, you need to make sure that you're checking in essentially with that company. If you bought a Cisco thing, you got to check in with Cisco. Make sure you don't have a counterfeit. These were the companies that Axoy created since 2014, and that would be Albus Trade Hub, Easy Network US, Get Better Trade, Mercadeal, Netech Solutions, Netco, NFD Trading, Palm Network Solutions, Renewed Equip, Servitar, Smart Network, SOS Trade Tech, Target Solutions, Team Tech Global, and Trade Origin US. These were all under his Pro Network brand, and so if you have purchased absolutely anything from one of those brands, you might be sitting on counterfeit equipment. Also, and for the record, this is why I never ever buy new or used infrastructure equipment from Amazon or eBay or wherever else. I go to actual known good distributors of the products that I purchase because this is mission critical equipment. The last thing I want to be doing is putting in some 10-year-old rusty fake Cisco, if I'm using Cisco and here we are thinking it's brand new, and that obviously is a huge problem. And so with that, just as I'm compiling my notes here, I did a quick search for equipment being sold on Amazon, eBay, etc., and some of the brands I found instantly were Cisco, Juniper, Palo Alto Networks, Brocade, HP Aruba, and more. Now, a lot of these organizations, a lot of these companies now have like recertification fees, meaning you're going to go buy that, old firewall from whoever or that old switch from whoever, and if you're trying to get it licensed for things like UTM or whatever it is, they now have to go through a recertification process, which obviously ups the price. They're going to charge you for that, and I think that's one of those ways that they are looking to ensure that they are thwarting counterfeiting. I've seen a ton like, oh, let's buy a whole bunch of cheap firewalls from whatever brand so we can train internally, all those kinds of things. But if we're getting fake Cisco equipment or Juniper or Palo Alto or Brocade, take your pick, this is a huge problem. So make sure that you are using only reputable dealers. I think this underscores a massive counterfeiting problem that we have. Cisco is just but one, I think, company, and obviously given how huge Cisco is, obviously they're a large target, not to mention all the others I mean, Juniper and Palo Alto are not small, nor is HP, right? Brocade, I think, was just bought by, I think, Ruckus, but I digress. So my point being here is make sure you're buying reputable. And for the record, if you see a firewall that looks like it's new and licensed online, and that is a one smoking deal, too good to be true, it's probably fake. Make sure you take that into account. You do not want to be the person that brings down the network because you got a counterfeit Cisco or whatever you're buying. That's a huge problem. So that is your news of the day. This is obviously a huge issue. I'm going to keep you up to date as we continue to find these things, but I have a feeling that while Cisco was a primary target, we're going to start seeing basically some other brands probably emerge from Axoy or something else as this evolves. I'll keep you up to date. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And please subscribe to the genuine Nick Espinoza. No counterfeits here. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everyone.